Loretta Weinberg has always been known as somebody who took on the establishment, whether it was in her own party or in the opposite party. She stood up and did the right thing.
Only when they needed to be taken up.
Right, which in Bergen County is almost every other week, right? But
she's off this weekend.
Right. 4 years ago, she led the ticket, statewide ticket, and we didn't do enough to get them elected, and we got stuck with Chris Christie. Things are going to turn around this year with Barbara Buono. Things are going to turn around in the Assembly, and we're going to maintain our Democratic leadership in the Senate, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce our Senate Majority Leader, Loretta Weinberg.
Thank you very much. First to Pat Stover, thank you so much for providing this beautiful venue. I can't say I've been at a meet and greet where I saw 2 wild turkeys.
And they were not on a ball.
There are sightings in Bergen County from time to time, generally Republicans, but in any event, thank you so much. And I know Pat is a member of the board of Planned Parenthood, so let me start off with that issue. Chris Christie was the first governor in the United States where money had been earmarked in the budget for Planned Parenthood. There are other states that never had money earmarked, but in fact, in those states that had always earmarked money, Chris Christie was the first governor in the United States to redline that money out, and he's done it year after year. In the 4 years he has been governor of the state of New Jersey. And for those of us who believe in women's access to health care, whether it is reproductive freedom, whether it is cervical and breast cancer screening, whether it is just general health care, for those of us who believe in that for women, if that's not a good reason to be out campaigning against this governor and the legislature where you're represented in this area, then I could give you a whole long other list behind that. But the issue of access to women's health is so important to all of us, to our sisters, to our aunts, to our daughters, that I can't bring enough light to bear on that issue. When it comes to marriage equality, I think we all know the story.
Excuse me, can I just say thank you for what you do over and over and over to try to get funding.
Thank you. Yes. $7.5 million taken out for women's health, whereas on Wednesday, by the way, October 16th, you're going to go and vote in a completely unnecessary $12 million election.
That's right.
So, great juxtaposition to point out why we need to replace Republicans. And certainly it's Republicans in the legislature that have helped allow him to get away with this kind of thing. Now, I met Marie when she ran two years ago. 2 years ago. Probably through our good friend Rosie Efkin, who convinced me she's going to be a good candidate and an even better assembly person. And in getting to know her and then seeing the infamous YouTube, for those of you who are teachers, to think that we have to stand up to ask for respect for the profession which molds the lives of our children. You know, it's hard for me to believe that I live in a state where it is necessary to stand up on issues like that. Of basic respect for the teaching profession in our state. And Marie became a TV star of sorts by having been one of the first people to stand up to the bully, who had the bully pulpit. And for that, she became famous and went on. In a way, I'm glad it happened, because we need people like Marie in our midst, willing to step forward to run for office. And I'm going to get to that. Is Ida still here? Where
Ida's right here.
Hiding behind a small business owner who has partnered up. And we are delighted that Marie has a strong sidekick, colleague. And, you know, as we're struggling with, we just talk about the issue of marriage equality to overcome that veto, so that we have enough votes for a veto override. To the one man who is standing between us and people like Loretta and her partner being able to get full equality in the state of New Jersey. You know, it's only one man who's standing there, happens to be the person who occupies the governor's chair. But I look at the two of you, and believe me, I didn't drive down here for any other reason. As we drove here, Ian Allen, who's from my office, I kept on saying to him, "Are you sure we put a real?" You know, it was we're really here. And I hope you don't have to go out doorbell ringing in this area.
We do. We do.
Well, that must be quite
It's a challenge.
But you know, property taxes increased 18% under this governor on average. The guy who talks about the New Jersey comeback, where we are still, I guess, about a full point higher than the unemployment rate in the country, where we are giving huge tax breaks to corporations that somehow have not been creating the jobs for our workers, and we raise taxes on the working poor with the earned income tax credit. And when you start adding all of these things together, this Republican administration has been a failure. And we need to elect more Democrats to the legislature. And I think we can start off with electing Marie Corfield. You know, she came within a whisper 2 years ago. And if we can raise the funds to get the word out, about property taxes, about women's health, about marriage equality, about civil rights, about all the issues that I know that we are all so devoted to, or we wouldn't be here, about the issues that Rosie and Blue Jersey write about regularly. If we can raise the funds to get that word out, we are going to be there to swear in 2 new assemblywomen.